Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Medical Physiology. Hope so you are all doing well by the grace of Almighty Allah. This is my next video on my YouTube channel. In this video we are discussing about the topic loop of Henle, a nephron pod. The loop of Henle has a hairpin configuration with a thin descending limb and both a thin and thick ascending limb. The thin descending and ascending segments have thin squamous epithelial membranes with minimal metabolic activity. On the other hand, the TAL has cuboidal epithelial membrane and is quite metabolically active. In this article, we will describe the ion transport and water movement that occurs within the loop of Henle, and we will consider the clinical relevance of this. First of all, we are discussing the functions. The thin descending limb. The thin descending limb is highly permeable to water with reabsorption occurring passively via aquaporine channels. Very low amounts of urea, sodium, and other ions are also reabsorbed. As mentioned above, water reabsorption is driven by the counter-current multiplier system set up by the active reabsorption of sodium in the TL. Next, the thin ascending limb. The thin ascending limb is impermeable to water due to having no aquaporine channels. However, Na-positive reabsorption still occurs passively through epithelial Na-positive channels. Chloride ions are also reabsorbed in the thin ascending limb through Cl-negative channels. There is also some paracellular movement of Na-positive and Cl-negative due to difference in osmolarity between the tubule and the interstitium. Next, thick ascending limb TAL. The primary site of the sodium reabsorption in the loop of Henle is thick ascending limb TL. The TL is impermeable to water. Sodium reabsorption is active. The driver is Na-positive and potassium K-positive activates on the basolateral membrane, which actively pumps three Na-positive ions out of the cell and two potassium K-positive ions into the cell. By creating a low intercellular concentration of sodium, the inside of the cell becomes negatively charged, creating an electrochemical gradient. Sodium then moves into the cell from the tubular lumen down the electrical and chemical gradient through the NKCC2 transporter on the apical membrane. This transporter moves one Na-positive ion and one K-positive ion and two chloride ions across the apical membrane. Potassium ions are transported back into the tubule by renal outer medullary potassium channels on the apical membrane to prevent toxic buildup within the cell. Chloride ions are transported into the tissue fluid via CIC-KB channels. The overall effect of this process are removal of Na-positive whilst retaining water in the tubules. This leads to a hypotonic solution arriving at the descending. Pumping Na-positive into the interstitial space. This contributes to a hyperosmotic environment in the kidney medulla. There is also some paracellular reabsorption of magnesium, calcium, sodium, and potassium. Countercurrent multiplication. As the thick ascending limb is impermeable to water, the interstitium becomes concentrated with ions, increasing its osmolarity. This drives water reabsorption from the descending limb as water moves from areas of low osmolarity to areas of high osmolarity. The system is known as countercurrent multiplication, and it allows the kidney to reabsorb around 99% of filtered water. You can see that the countercurrent multiplication. This is all about the loop of Henle, the part of the nephron. It's a thick descending limb, it's thin and thick ascending limb loop of Henle we are discussed in this topic. Now inshallah we will meet in the next video in the next topic. In the end, I request you to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.